But I went home last night and my na'au was still churning after hearing more and going online to review the video. So do I understand the need for the department to explore options to increase our revenue stream and our land inventory to put our people on the land? Yes. Which is why I supported the development of Kamakana Ali'i and was criticized in 2009 for doing so. I had to deal with applicants and lessees who were very upset with me. I've gone to the legislature and reminded the senators and representatives of their oath to uphold the Constitution of our state and their kuleana under Article 12, Section 1. So for C1, I want to clarify, I'm not opposed to the intent of the project. I'm opposed to the process, the terms, the conditions, the approval and granting of a 65-year lease for the project by you approving the MOA yesterday without going through the formal process, because there is a formal process. Despite what Russell has said, there is no formal process. Perhaps he meant for this transaction. But there is a formal process which other developers, homestead beneficiary organizations, and homestead associations must follow. And that I have to make very clear, because that's what we have to do. And I get that this project is a test or a pilot project, but I must remind all of you that none of us will be here. You will leave your seat and another commissioner will replace you, just as your predecessors. And so I'm not here because I don't understand what needs to be done or what the department. I've been sitting in that chair since 2008. So I know this is where I learned. And I just go back to what Queen Liliuokalani, our queen, said. Never cease to act because you fear you might fail. And right now, some of you aren't even looking at me in the eye. So I don't have your attention. And I should. For F1 with the pivot, I think there was a testimony that was upsetting to me. And I decided that if the person showed up at this meeting today, that I would either speak to them, to the person, or bring forth the information. But what I do want to say to all of you who are here and those who are watching the video, I would ask that if at any time you hear a speaker, especially a homestead association, someone from the association or someone from our lands, please don't just listen to one side of the story. Go and do your research. Reach out and speak to the other side, because as we all know, there's always going to be a opposition or support, like I've been doing. I'll support some projects, I won't support others. But that's me doing my research. That's my na'au telling me what I should and what I shouldn't do. And so I ask all of you that before you say anything about another organization without the full facts and details, please, if you cannot say something nice, don't say nothing at all. That's the Hawaiian way, right? So go find out, do your research, pick up the phone, call them. Oh, I heard this. What is your side of the story? because it was upsetting, because personally, I took that personal, yes, because I'm one of the founders for KCDC. And I know how hard we've worked and the people in our community have worked. So with that said, mahalo for allowing me the opportunity to share my mana'o with you.
Okay, with respect to the J agenda, to ensure that we can accommodate all testimonies within our allotted time, we kindly ask each of you to be as concise and efficient as possible. Please limit your remarks to 10 minutes to allow everyone the opportunity to be heard. Your cooperation is greatly appreciated and will help us ensure a productive and timely session. Mahalo.
Right?
Okay, you again.
I'm going to invite the next speaker to come and sit with me. You get that mic. Leah, on the third speaker, Joseph, you can cancel. He won't be attending. Yes. So as she's Leah. Oh, that's great. No. Right. 9. Do you have one for you? Yeah. You know, all these years I've come before the commission to address the issues and concerns of our lessees. And as I'm getting ready to step away from our board this year, I've asked the board to consider doing things a little differently. And for our lessees who actually have issues or problems that need to be brought before you, that they come themselves. So, but before I get, do you have a? No, she has. So I signed up for J Agenda because what I want to address is this. Most of the people out there, including our beneficiaries, our applicants and our lessees, they know that the primary mission for the department is to get our people on our lands. What they don't know is that very often, after the department has expended funds for the infrastructure, and I'll use Malohai as an example, for the below ground improvements so that a developer can come in and build the vertical improvements, they get confused as to who's supposed to do what. Meaning who's supposed to take care of the trees, who's supposed to take care of the sidewalks, who's supposed to take care of the street lights. So no matter how many times we put it in our news flyers or newsletters, they still get confused. But what I want to address here is this. I am very much aware that there are over 60 homestead beneficiary or homestead associations in our state, and that the department has to prioritize the seriousness of how to maintain, right? How to maintain these homesteads, because many of them have not been turned over to the county. Although a couple years ago, there was a bill presented by the department where the city and county of Honolulu, after, I believe, 60 months, I asked for 6 months, but Lehua asked for 60 months, that after the project is completed, that the county take over. So what is my point? Well, my point is this. A lot of people don't understand that while the department is trying to get us on the land, the department is also trying to maintain these lands. When we think about Papakolea and the sewer system and the cliffs, the rock slides that the department has had to deal with, that's DHHL maintaining existing homestead lands, coupled with just us alone in Kapolei. If you can imagine all the street lights, all the trees, all the sidewalk. The department has kuleana for that until it's turned over to the city and county of Honolulu. That's a lot of money. And so under our state constitution, Article 12, Section 1, there are 4 purposes, and I'm referring to purpose 4, right? For admin and operations. And so I'm just putting a little bug in your ear that when it comes time for us to start looking at the budget, that we not only have to request funding to get our people on the land and funding to maintain what is on the land. And I mean statewide, I'm not just speaking for Maluahai. That needs to happen, and the legislature needs to know that if other government entities took on the kuleana that they're supposed to, then the department wouldn't have to pay for this. And I just wanted to put that little bug in your ear to start thinking about it when we start approaching April and May of next year. So I'm done with my part of the J testimony. But what I would like to say is this. When you listen to the next speaker, I want you all to imagine that there is a 20+ foot tree that is a shower tree, beautiful, that is sitting less than 10 feet from your home with a trunk girth of almost 30 inches that was planted in a 30-inch grass strip. And that your family is sleeping upstairs and a hurricane that is unknown to us hits us. Keep that in mind. Also keep in mind that Maluahai along Kaiau Avenue and Maluahai Street have 30+, I believe it's 32 trees, shower trees that tower over our homes. And so I'd like for you to keep that in mind. And this lady who is sitting next to me is a lessee, and I will let her introduce herself.
Aloha, Watson. Oh, is it on? Okay. Aloha, Chair Watson and members of the commission. My name is Eileen Lehua Kamela. I am a leasee at Maluahai Homestead. I am here today regarding the safety and health concerning myself, my handicapped husband, and family. My backyard is along Kaiau Street, and the shower tree that was planted 2001 is now a safety and health problem concern. The shower tree towers over my second-story house. The leaves, the flowers, and the falling branches in my yard, on the roof, rain gutters, solar panels have become a big issue. The top and the width of the tree have damaged the street light, causing the light cover to hang dangerously above pedestrian sidewalk. The tree branches have prevented the street light for pedestrians to see in the dark. Hurricane damage is my greatest fear, as this tree will demolish my home and cause life and injury to myself, my handicapped husband, and my family. The encroachment of the hanging branches, constant leaves, and flowers have become difficult to maintain a safe and well-kept yard as required by the Villages of Kapolei Homeowners Association rules. Due to the flowering tree nearly all year round, my asthma and allergies are borderline serious, requiring medication. As a caregiver for my 79-year-old handicapped husband, I have to keep myself healthy, and this tree has taken a toll on my health. The cracks in the patio concrete show signs of root damage from the tree, and my biggest concern is the roots traveling under my house foundation, causing costly structural foundation damage. The constant falling of leaves and flowers that fill 2 green container bins a week have caused insects to thrive in my yard and enter my house. Geckos have shorted my electrical panel. Centipedes have entered my AC units. There's a couple solution: trim the tree to the first story. My concern with this solution is Department of Homeland hired an arbor for the last 3 to 5 years who trimmed the trees along Kaiau that created these monster trees that belong in parks. This solution will not take care of the leaves and the root damage to my house foundation. Please remove the tree as it has caused enough damage, time, and energy taken away from caring for my family. Thank you. Aloha.
Okay, we thank you for your testimony. I think that, your comments, really need to, maybe talk with our attorneys because, there's potential litigation involved. So this time, the chair will entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Okay.
Okay, the commission will convene in an executive session pursuant to section 92(5)(a)(4) HRS to consult with its attorneys on questions and issues pertaining to the commission's powers, duties, privileges, immunities, and liabilities. Okay. All those in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carried.
I think help me with the online or.
Yeah.
Thursday, I'll get it to you, though. It's contact.
Okay, Campbell.
Huh?
Use.
Okay. Okay. The commission is reconvening from its executive session. The commission reviewed and discussed and issues pertaining to the commission's powers, duties, privileges, immunities, and liabilities related to homestead maintenance. Okay. Yeah, let's read it.
Bring Eileen back.
Yeah, okay, real quick.
So,
Yeah, Mrs. Camillo, we did talk about your situation that is, throughout the subdivision. And I don't know how many other, homestead areas, it seems to be an issue that's pretty common. So we're gonna take a look at it. We're not looking at it so much as a liability thing. It's more to protect our beneficiaries, make sure they're living in a safe and, a nice environment, the removal of these beautiful trees may be warranted, but how do we mitigate that removal and maybe replace it? I don't know, maybe you got some ideas, but we will take a look at it and try to put together some suggestions. We're gonna have some consultants take a look, see how we can best mitigate the situation. But we are, I thank you for bringing this to our attention.
Chair, I'd just like to say mahalo for this. It's unprecedented. It's never happened before. It's not the first time I brought this issue before commission. I've done it for several years. And, I just don't want the department to be placed in a position where we're gonna have to use trust funds for litigation. And so I'd rather be safe than sorry. And thank you, Eileen, for coming forward. Mahalo, Chair.
We are looking for solutions too, so, maybe drive around, if you guys got any suggestions on how, taking out the trees and just having sidewalk and paved roads is, I think it depreciates, the beauty of the neighborhood, so.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's
so if
beautiful.
You got suggestions on how we can replace it with something, it's nice, so please.
And I would invite every one of you that rather than taking Kualaka'i, just drive down to the Main Street Kayal in our homestead and you'll see what I'm talking about. There's no doubt that the trees are beautiful. And the flowers are beautiful. But for me, it's about safety.
Yeah.
What is, just protecting our
That's good.
lefties. And so again, mahalo for
Okay,
your
thank you.
consideration.
Hello. Okay, the next, J5, Randy Akau.
Hello and good morning, commissioners. I'm just gonna read my testimony. Each one of you have a copy of the my testimony for this morning. Hello, distinguished Hawaiian Homes Commissioners. My name is Randy Akau, a native Hawaiian beneficiary residing in the Kanahili Homestead community of Kapolei. I am also its president. The Kanahili Community Association is submitting a legislative proposal to the Hawaiian Homes Commission for inclusion into Governor Josh Green's administrative package for the next session of the 2026 Hawaii State Legislature. Kanahili is proposing to construct a 700-foot long, 12-inch wide, and 9 feet high reinforced concrete tile safety wall along Kualakai Parkway, adjacent to our community park. The safety wall will replace the existing failing and inadequate chain link fence currently in place. In 2019, a pickup truck traveling on Kualakai Parkway veered off the roadway onto the sidewalk and crashed into our fence line, damaging 17 feet of fencing and displacing 6 metal support posts. The truck ended up on our park property. The truck left the scene before anyone had a chance to talk to the driver. We were fortunate to learn that no one was injured. This legislative proposal is being submitted to correct a deficiency and is a good public policy. In 2020, a wildfire scorched about 2 acres of our park. The fire originated from the Ever Villages community across from our park along Koalakai Parkway. Lighted embers and debris not only breached our fence line, but were suspended into the air assisted by northeast trade winds, scorching our park's landscaping. The current chain link fence fails Honolulu City and County safety standards for urban zones and offers no wildfire protection and jeopardizes Kanehili's planned expansions and developments. Community petitions, letters of support from Homestead leaders, state government officials, including our local contractor, underscores the urgent need for a durable solution to safeguard this vital hub. Increasing wildfire incidents in Hawaii since 2020, along with the increasing high volume of traffic along Koalakai Parkway and near the East Kapolei rail line, demands a robust infrastructure to protect our beneficiaries, our keikis, and our kupuna. The Hawaiian Homes Commission Act of 1920, inspired by Prince Kohio, mandates the Department of Hawaiian Homelands to rehabilitate Native Hawaiians to safe, culturally vibrant homestead communities. The Kanehili Concrete Safety Wall fulfills this by creating a secured space for cultural practices and recreation, ensuring keiki learn their heritage and kupuna share their wisdom, currently in the largest homestead community in Kapolei. Governor Green's administrative priorities emphasizes community safety, Native Hawaiian health and welfare, and resilience against environmental threats like wildfires. This project aligns with these goals by mitigating the risks from the 2019 crash and 2020 wildfire, protecting keiki and kupuna, and promoting cultural pride through Native Hawaiian design elements. Its proximity to the Department of Hawaiian Homeland's corporate office building makes it a high visibility initiative, showcasing the state's commitment to Native Hawaiian communities under Governor Josh Green's leadership. The Kanehili Community Association and its board of directors respectfully urges your support at today's meeting to include this proposal in the Department of Hawaiian Homeland's 2026 legislative proposal package, placing it in position for Governor Green's final approval of Native Hawaiian housing block grant funds. Together, let us honor Prince Kohio's legacy by building a safe and thriving community for our keiki and kupuna, ensuring Kanehili remains a beacon of aloha and resilience. Mahalo nui loa for your leadership and consideration. That's
Okay,
all.
Yeah, I'm impressed with your proposal and all the letters of support that you, as well as the petition. You know, I think without a doubt, we will make a recommendation to include that in the governor's package. How'd you get the pricing? Did you get that quoted from some contractor? Where did you come up
Yeah,
with that?
contractor gave me that quote.
Okay.
Yes.
Is that?
And also, Chair, I'd like to add, I've been in talk with Brian Hill.
Mhm.
He's a contractor who made the existing safe and sound wall along Guadalupe Parkway for the rest of the 37 homes. So he's just giving me ideas. He's just giving me ideas on, the information. So that's where I got some of the information from.
Yeah, no, I mean, the proposal that you put together, it was well done and appreciate the effort and, yeah,
Okay.
we'll definitely take your requests seriously and make the requests to the governor.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay,
Thank you,
any
Commissioner.
question? Okay, thank you. All right. Okay, the next, okay, recess for 5 minutes.
need a technical recess.
5 minutes reset.
Where's this space? I know if like this place that you're talking about. Yeah. I don't know.
We should eat this further. They used to be in the litigation.
No, it was prosecutor's office.
Oh, prosecutor.
Yeah. 6 years.
Richard was over.
It's a fun job. It's different when you move over, but I don't know, it's not those systems. Right, that's what you kind of bring to office, but everything else, like civil pretrial stuff, it's administrative stuff. Because it's so different in practice of the vengeance, that it's just like it's a.
Were you ever in private?
I did private for about 7.
You ready?
Yeah, then went back to the prosecutors, they just, it's just kind of difficult for me because I get about stuff, it's like, I'm business processing as much as I want to.
it's just
There-
kind of
A lot of it is
intuitive
being
and
quiet,
it
feels. It's mostly like a family word. It's almost
Yeah.
mostly.
Oh, I hated family court.
Yeah, so.
I specialize in CROs and.
Oh, it's like a circuit. It's clients. And they're not looking for resolution. They're attacking and it's small.
Yeah.
It's like maybe saying.
Was that day?
It's like,
One number one. Yeah. When you ready, just comes out why I just.
okay, we're called back into session. Let's see. Ready? Tatiana Van Olhoffen. I don't know if I said that right. Apologize.
Yes. Okay, aloha mai kako. Thank you for your time. So I am a successor, lessee. My dad, I live in Series 7 Nanaquili. So we moved in there in August of 1996. He passed in 2008. I took over the lease, purchased the home. Done. Pretty simple, right? Why I am here is for a few different things. So my children, they do not have enough Hawaiian to get the property from me. I've shaken hands with that. I hope it changes one day. But for now, I'm gonna attack what's in front of me, right? So now, when I die, you guys take it, you sell it, you figure it out, right? And then they get the net proceeds. I am very clear on that. What is not clear is what are net proceeds. So let's just say you go appraise 600, you sell it at 600, I owe 200, you pay the 200, 400 left, take 25 for whatever. So there's $375,000 that go to my kids. What is that? Is it a gift? Is it income? And are they taxed on it? Because in any other situation, when you inherit a property, there's no capital gains. There's only cost basis, right? So if I die tomorrow and my house is worth 600,000 that day, my kids get any other property, not Hawaiian Homes, they get my land, they sell it in 1 year later and it's worth 700. They pay taxes on the 100,000, the in between. So that's all really standard, right? How this came up was my estate attorney about 8 years ago. She's like, can you put Hawaiian Homes in the trust? I was like, I have no idea. I called Hawaiian Homes, like most people do, over and over. Finally, 6 months later, I had some really not nice attorney call me and tell me, no, you can't. Too bad, so sad, can't put it in your trust. And at that, now, I'm a business person, I get it. He didn't hurt my feelings. He answered my question, but then what do you do next, right? So life happens, you get busy, I forget about it. My estate attorney one more time comes up and she's like, what are you doing? I come back again. I come to Hawaiian Homes. I meet with
I'm not gonna say who, a couple of people. No answers. I'm okay with not having an answer, but you have to respond. 5 emails later, 10 calls later, still no response. This is over months, so now I'm getting persistent, and which is why I'm here. I wouldn't need to be here if anybody could actually answer my question. So at the end of the day, I need somebody to tell me expeditiously what net proceeds are and how it works with the, whoever gets that money. Because there is in no way that these kids should have to pay any sort of capital gain tax. It should be the same. So like, are you guys privy, does Hawaiian Homes, I mean, do you guys, how, do you really know, like actually how it works? Are you privy to the stepped up cost basis, when this happens? Because it's in my trust, and does it go to probate? How does this work? And it seems that I can find nothing online. I'm pretty savvy. I can research, I can ask questions. I can't find anything on it except the common sense answers of how an inheritance of a home is really done. So at the end of the day, let's say you tax it, right? Let's say at the end of the day, it's income. So these kids are taxed 400,000 on capital gain, whatever, 40%, 30%, whatever it is. Look at what they end up with. So we have now poured our money into our homes, into Hawaiian homelands, and they really come out with way less than they started. What's the purpose? I would tell anybody honestly, with all due respect, anybody wanting Homestead now, that you're buying an $800,000 house, figure it out and go somewhere else. Go get your own property. So you don't have to, unless you have successors that are gonna like continue on 100%. But if you're not, you're really stuck in a situation. And I don't know if it's only me and just me asking that question. I hope somebody else has asked it. And I hope honestly that other families who have gone through this, I really hope they haven't paid taxes because it's not fair and it's not right. So I'm here to really understand it. And then I think once we understand it, I'm sure these people didn't respond to me because they really don't know. So I'd like an answer. I've been patient. Again, I wouldn't waste your time or mine if I didn't need to be here. So I just really want to, I need you guys to answer that question, or somebody, anybody, just, really help me out. The other thing is, who actually approves the sale price, right? So let's say like who's advocating for my children, right? I paid for the house. You don't own the house, but you're gonna sell it, right? So who's to say like, maybe it's worth 600, but you can get a buyer for 500. Are you just gonna take the 500? I thought in the beginning there was an option where either DHL sells the property, or the other option is they would work with your executor to kind of agree on a property. I went back to that sheet and I can't find it. So I'd also like an answer on that, or kind of be clear on how that works. Because again, you need to, if you're taking control of it, you need to advocate for our children, or whoever's getting it. So, excuse me. And then when I die, how does it work? Do they get kicked out in a month? Now again, my kids are older, right? Let's just say. But for people who actually have younger children, do they have a month to stay? Do they have 2 months to stay? Like, I've looked everywhere. Like, there really should be a fact sheet that says, when this happens, this is the process. And you have 2 months to leave your home, or whatever. It is what it is. Let's just be clear and informative so people know how to handle it. And that's really what I'm not upset. I'm upset about not getting answers and not getting return calls or emails. But the issue is the issue and the answer is the answer. So if you could just really make it clear, that would be great. Not responding, I told myself I wasn't gonna go into this, but real quick. Whether it's me, I'm a professional, I'm a businesswoman, or auntie down the road, or sister down the hall, we are all equal. And we should never, ever be spoken to or spoken down to. I whether you make a lot of money, I make a lot of money, they don't make a lot of money, it doesn't matter. When that attorney spoke to me like that, again, I can walk away and I'll take care of business later. This little girl who's, in charge of Nanakuli, and her boss not even giving us the time of day is probably one of the most disrespectful things. And I'm pushy. Grandma, auntie, they're probably not, they call once every year, right? And they might be okay with the not an answer, So I do really hope that, I know times are hard, staff is scarce. There would be no Hawaiian homes without Hawaiians, without Hawaiian homes. So it can be mutual, right? There should be a mutual respect there. We are the lessees. I know you're trying to get people on homes. Thank you. Thank you for trying. But you got to remember us too. Yeah, we're here. Okay, I want to get, that's kind of that. So please expeditiously get me an answer. I need to figure out how to move forward with everything. I'm going to bring up one more thing, the fire. So I live Series 7. We live right on the mountain, Piliokahi. And since 1996, there's been 3 fires. They happen about every 8 to 10 years. I don't have the exact dates, but I'm going to get to the most recent fire, which was in 2016. I'm going to do this. I can send a slideshow later. It was done very quickly. Can you go up a little bit? So there's obviously the school right in the middle. I live in that little cul-de-sac closest to the mountain, right? We're on the hill. And up above us is Palehua. Okay, you can go to the next one. This is Palehua, on top Palehua. You see those power lines? You might see it later. Okay, fine. Next one. Some more pictures of the power lines, and you can kind of see our homestead further down, right? This is going somewhere. This is from my home, from my fence line. If you look up to the left, there's that fake tree that you can see. To the right, there are electric poles. You can't see it, but you'll see it in the next. So that's how close it is to us. You see those poles right there on the top? Those connect to those poles that I showed you on Google Maps. You can go to the next one. There's a closer look. So let me tell you this story. So I'm never home. I travel for business. I'm sitting in my garage looking at the mountain randomly. I see this thing spark, like poof, like start sparking the poles. I'm like, oh, wow, interesting. Then you can go to the next slide. And then that starts. So this is the start of the fire. I'm gonna let you keep kind of going through this fire. It's escalating, right? Now, we all see fires all the time, but this is a little, you're gonna see how it goes. You can kind of just scroll through. Stop right there. Every fire we've had has come into 10 feet of our fence line. So the first 2 fires, we ma'a already, right? We ma'a, they come, we're fine, we end up getting out of it. It doesn't go past our street, Waiea, right? Because they end up controlling it, right? So we always make it through, fine. We get through it. And then comes this fire that you're looking at right now. So when I saw this spark, these 2 fires, the first 2 fires, what happens is they come down and they come across the mountain like a wall. They go this way. So you can control as it goes, right? So it's not reaching the other homes. This fire went on the ridge line, the wind went all the way to the top and it came down like a wall all at once. So it had a harder time controlling it. And then what it did was it engulfed us. So it went around us. They ended up figuring it out, but what was even more, and this one actually in 2016, I was actually close to leaving. Like I thought, okay, this is like a little too much. But what happened, we're standing in the road and then all these things were hitting our legs, like hitting our legs. And we're like, what is that? It was the insects, the mice, the birds, and the rats, that they were already to the point where they couldn't stay up there and they were coming up. It was like an apocalypse. It's really bizarre. And you can only like imagine just stuff whacking your feet. So after that, I was like, okay, I think we ought to go. I think keep going to the next. So I'm going to show you a video. I know don't have to, that's the smoke. That's engulfing us right around. Some more. That's way up top. And then you can see it as it comes all the way down to us. That's right above us. And that's a line all the way down the street. So that's not just right there. They're all kind of like that. So I think you get the point. So really why I'm here is that you got to go to where it starts. If you go back, I don't have the research on it. If you go back to the department and you look at every fire, You look at the afterburn line, it starts right there. It comes from that electric pole. I'm not saying go back and blame, who cares? Fix it. It has happened. This is where it's coming from. I don't need you to take, responsibility for it. Let's fix it. It's not a cigarette. It's not a firework. We don't do fireworks on our road because we know, not one bit. Our whole road is like, no way, because it can go like that. So it's really addressing what the issue is, and that is the issue. I've shown you. You have to, I don't have a lot of time to go into all the research. And then lastly, I know everybody's working on Firewatch. Everybody's so like, trying to figure it out. Let the political and the red tape, put that aside, prioritize. Look at all these areas. I say, yeah, I want it because I'm right there. But if you look at these areas, where are the areas that the fire breaks need to be done sooner rather than later? Again, at the end of the day, I'll just leave, right? I can figure it out, but not everybody's gonna leave their home. And I do think if you were to start somewhere, go back and look and work with the fire department on where these fires started and figure out where they came from. So that's my spiel in the fire. I want to add one thing to Auntie with the whole shower tree. I think that's hilarious. Honestly, not that you're having these issues. We moved into Series 7 30 years ago. We all cut our shower trees down because they were literally this thing in this little space made no sense, right? So almost all the shower trees in Series 7 are cut down. Sorry, you put them, we all cut them down, nobody cared. There's one shower tree left, kind of in the middle, huge tree, rubbish everywhere. Now, I don't know if it has bugs. I really don't know. My suggestion is any new stuff that you build, try not to put a shower tree there. Like find something that actually makes sense. Cause you know what? Those shower trees are lifting up your sidewalks. That's why they're redoing our sidewalks right now. 4 times they come and the sidewalks lift, and it really is because of the trees. So I wouldn't be here if I really didn't need some answers from you. So thank you for your time, and mahalo.
Do you have any questions, Commissioner? We appreciate the, your showing us actually the cause of these fires with those poles. So we'll definitely convey that to Hawaiian Electric, see if we can kind of address that. That's obviously, I think, the cause of the Lahaina fire is from the poles. So similarly, we have a very bad situation that we need to address. We are looking to, we've had some symposiums and, I think the answer is working with the utility company along with community members like yourself, as well as other people involved in the suppression process. Now, in your questions regarding the inheritance, I just need some clarification. Your children are, how much Hawaiian do they have?
Like 22.
22%.
Yeah, they're just shy.
Well, we do have a bill in Congress right now. We're trying to get it down to 132.
And I'm great like that. I appreciate that. And I know in the political landscape changes, it might be an easier time to go in and do that. But you got to understand that, I'm sorry to interrupt. Like, I got to figure out what to do right now, right? Just anything could happen tomorrow.
Well, I also, your question regarding trying to push or put the this asset, which is I guess the proceeds from the homestead into a trust. Now, I'm not a probate attorney, but we can take a look at that. But I think the more important question is your intent when you pass away, your net proceeds you want to go to your kids. Is that it? And then you're concerned about the tax implications on them?
Yeah. What is it? What is it? Is it an income? Is it a gift? How do you classify
Right.
that money?
You're an attorney, you went to see a probate attorney?
Oh, I have a state attorney and a probate attorney. The whole problem is they don't understand Hawaiian homes and how that works. It's very tricky because even your attorney, when he called me, I don't know, 6 years ago, he was like, nope, can't do it, done. Now it makes sense because if you don't own the lease, you own the home, but you own the lease. You can't put that in a trust. That's kind of common sense, right? You can't put a leasehold in a trust because you don't own it. So just because you don't own the land means that you own the house, but it's the same thing. The lease trumps the actual ownership of the home.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll take a look at that and we'll get back to you because that's something that's probably been addressed previously, so.
I would think
We
so.
should be able to get an answer for you. Here we can take a look for it, so. Okay. Okay, any questions, Commissioner? If not, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Hey.
I have one question, sorry. Do you guys have a Firewise program for there?
No. I mean, not that I don't, you know what, I'm gonna be 100% honest. I've lived in Nanakuni. I'm not really, I don't do a lot with the community because I'm so busy with my business and stuff like that. So this is kind of, I've just now semi-retired, so I'm trying to like do a little bit more. So I did call Darius Keela and he did come and Stacy Eli. So they came and I showed them the tree and the mountain and whatever. And then I was supposed to send them the video, but no, you know, to download these videos, it is pretty complicated. So I ended up losing track of it and he never followed up and I didn't either. So that's the closest I got to sharing. Now, I did write a letter to the fire department in 2016 when it happened. I never got a response. Again, life happens and I just didn't pay
A
attention.
suggestion, I'm pretty sure that Nanakuli Association has a Firewise program. But more importantly, for someone that's lived through a fire, and we lost our entire community, is talk to your neighbors and come up with a plan. Because the fire department will come, but they're not, you know, a lot of times, they're overwhelmed and they're fighting the head of the fire. And you might not be at the head of the fire. And so working with your community association and your immediate neighborhood.
Yep.
And coming up with a Firewise program that can support the Firewise team, I think is super, super important to the success of mitigating a fire that could be more intense the next time around.
That makes sense. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not looking, we don't think you're gonna save the day and the fire, you know, they're doing everything they can. The last fire, I remember that boy ran up and he was younger and he's like, what'd they do last time? I was like, what? He's like, what'd they do last time? I said, well, they control burn last time. He's like, where? I can't tell you that, you know, so like, they're trying to fight this fire at different locations. So we, as the people who live there and community, we should, of course, you know, be careful and be wise and do our part as well. So thank you for that.
Chair,
I appreciate it.
there are two gentlemen from the community, Uncle Mark Kaava as well as Uncle Paul Ayo, who have been starting the Firewise initiative. They've been sent to training by the department. And then within that team, there's Stacy Lynn Eli, Darius Keela. And last week, Tuesday, there was a meeting for the community. There's gonna be another meeting. And so maybe if you wanna leave your name and number, we can get you
Sure.
to be able to come to that meeting and
Okay.
to
And
share.
I can send this video. I mean, it's not like great, but at least you kind of get an idea. You almost have to see the video of the impact of it and how close it is to really understand how close it is. So mahalo for your time. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, next agenda person, Aina Aloha Ione.
Aloha mai kako.
Aloha.
O wau no o Aina Aloha Ioane. I am the president of the Kings Landing Community Association of Maha Malamakaina Hanakaina. And I'd like to begin with giving comments about a previous testifier. It hurts me to hear the comment thread of frustration and scare in my auntie's voice. I continue to echo her pain. Auntie Kapu's mom and my kukumama were her puapili or best friends, and they sang in the choir at the Catholic Church. Auntie Kapu is my dad's younger sister, and we have all been raised by her. She reached out to me for help in navigating through her concerns, and I'm happy to see her here today at the J Agenda. And I hope for her and all beneficiaries in her situation a just path for our successors. Today, I provide testimony to provide an update of our Kings Landing community status. Akahi, first, I would like to ask that the beneficiaries across the Pai'aina have a way to share our experiences and our concerns about our most recent tsunami evacuation that occurred earlier this month. The positive outcome of this tsunami scare was that it provided a real-time snapshot for our local officials and for us to see their realistic readiness to address an evacuation today. I cannot recall having an evacuation in my adulthood, only when we were keiki living in Kings Landing. I'm sure I noticed what everyone saw across the Pai'aina is that the paper version of our evacuation plan did not imagine itself into reality. And it did not account for the excessive increase in the state's population and the heavy influx of tourists in Hawaii at any given time. I'm sure I also echo the voices of our coastal communities when I say civil defense and our local officials were unprepared and disorganized. In Hilo alone, we have 2 homestead communities needing to evacuate, Keaukaha and Kings Landing. It took Uncle Wason, Dad's younger brother, 3 hours to get out of the tsunami inundation zone. He left Kings Landing, his hale, at 3 o'clock and got across the airport tarmac at 6:30, only having 30 minutes of leeway before the tsunami would have struck. Roads were bottlenecked and gridlocked. The Hilo airport proved again that they are not good stewards of our community spaces and do not have the safety and health of our beneficiaries and larger communities as their top priority. I asked the commission to consider having community beneficiary consultations so that we may express our experiences and our fears, and also to just be heard. Because as of yet, civil defense has not held a community meeting. No one has heard our fears or our anxieties, and they're not being considered. Alua, second, I'm saddened to share that our community gate at Kings Landing remains open. Cars continue to be dumped, transients continue to traverse in and out, making makeshift constructions for hiding spaces, and our community continues to feel unsafe. I will be adding the theft of my father, Keli'i Iowane's household items to the long list of thefts that occur in Kings Landing. His inverter to convert electricity and his water pump were stolen. Akolu, third, the Maha beneficiaries of Kings Landing continue to be humble and very thankful for the continued progress of our Kuleana Homestead settlement plan. My concern today is the same concern of all beneficiaries on the wait list, is that in Kings Landing, more than 70% of our community are kupuna, and we are thankful for them every day. We are aware that the beneficiary consultation report for the priority rule administrative change will appear next month, while the commission is here in Hilo, and we look forward to seeing everyone then, and the positive progress of this admin rule change. Mekaha'aha'a, I humbly ask that concurrently, the homesteading division be makokau for the approval of the priority rule change and have in place a system or applications needed to move forward. My father would like me to share with the commission. I have paraphrased what he said. His mana'o to share is those who have passed on, they are very patient, but the living here on earth, we are very anxious. I would like to end once again with a request and a push for paper leases for the beneficiaries residing in Kings Landing to honor their contribution in the establishment of the Kuleana Subsistence Ag Program. We have 3 founding kupuna members left in our community. The rest are patiently waiting for them in heaven. So let us please honor them. Mahalo.
Thank you very much. Next testifier, Kikoa Inamoto.
Aloha. I'm a little under the weather. I just came down with pink eye, so one eye is closed. But my kako,
Hello?
am I being heard?
Yes.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Makai, mahalo. Aloha mai kako, ina Hawaiian Homes Commissioners. I am speaking on behalf of Pa'upena Community Development Corporation this morning, but on behalf of the Pulehunui Hawaiian Homestead Association, which I helped to incorporate 8 months ago in December of 2024. The Pulehunui Hawaiian Homestead Association is proposing the Pulehunui South Farming and Housing Subdivision on 646 homelands acres at Pu'unene in central Maui. With regard to this ambitious, unprecedented Maui beneficiary-driven initiative, I advocate that the Commission consider approval of DHHL designating as undivided interest lessees up to 250 Maui agricultural waitlisters. concerning this request, on July 12th, the department held meetings on Maui with regard to the Honokawai and Waiʻehu Mauka agricultural homesteads, and is going to be designated 105 waitlisters as undivided interest lessees for those two proposed agricultural homesteads. At that meeting on July 12th, they also discussed 100 proposed ag lots at Pulehunui, but did not indicate that there would be an additional 100 waitlisters designated as undivided interest lessees. And Pulehunui Hawaiian Homestead Association is actually on the advice of its cultural advisor, proposing 252-acre regenerative farming lots for that acreage, that 646 acres. And so we are respectfully requesting that 250 Maui ag waitlisters be designated undivided interest lessees for that proposed homestead. Pulehunui Hawaiian Homestead Association also is seeking authorization of the association acquiring a 2-year due diligence right of entry to that acreage. And lastly, it's requesting endorsement of the G70 planning and architectural firm receiving $387 in design and conceptual planning fees. So the commission is going to be meeting on Maui on October 20th. And at that time, we're hoping that it will consider approval of a right of entry to this association, to this acreage. We already, members of our association already monitor daily this acreage to mitigate wildfires threats, dumping of garbage, and derelict vehicles. We are also seeking USDA fencing for agroforestry on a 100-acre corridor that fronts Maui Veterans Highway. And we've received 2 donated buses that we'd like to place on in that 100-acre corridor for office space and a site manager. With regard to the request for endorsement of $387,000 for G70 planning and design fees. So we've been talking with G70 now for about a year concerning this acreage and our envisioning of this subdivision. And we know G70, the department did underwrite fees for WAKU to have planning and design work done for its acreage in Hana. And so we respectfully request that the commission and the department consider approving this monetary support and technical assistance for this Homestead Beneficiary Association. Thank you very much. Mahalo.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's see. J4, Alhi. We're in litigation in this guy.
Aloha, Chairman and members of the commission.
Hello.
I came here really to apologize about where this is led and about you folks getting service yesterday. We tried to do it in a way that wouldn't be so disruptive, but we were met with your outside attorney told us that he wouldn't accept service. And so we were left with the unfortunate way that it was done yesterday. But you know, I think in the end, I hope it'll lead to good things. I hope you folks understand that when Chairman Drake asked me to do this, she was asking me for a commitment for my lifetime. And as long as I'm alive, I will do what she asked me to do. I think we all try to serve the beneficiaries as best we can. And this is a way that the commission back then felt was the way to do it. And I tried to decline the request from Chairman Drake, but she knew more than I knew that the department was unable to do it because of political pressures. And that if something like this was going to be done, where all homesteaders, no matter where they lived, would have service, and they wouldn't have to pay for the infrastructure. She knew that the only way it could be done is if a private company would step forward and take that risk. And that was why I did it. I didn't do it for financial gain. There were many more business things that I was doing that I had to put aside for this. So it's unfortunate. Let's hope that there's a way to resolve this so that the beneficiaries will get service no matter where they live. And that this can be disposed of without going through the complete lawsuit, because if it does, there's going to be substantial damages to this. When Sandwich Isles was doing this, our revenues were 60 million a year in be able to provide service to all of the beneficiaries. So the damage to Sandwich Isles is substantial, and the damage to Waimana is substantial. And if I have to go through this lawsuit, first, I will make sure that the beneficiaries get what the previous Hawaiian Homes Commission asked me to make sure they got. And then I will make sure that my children are not left holding the bag. So I know you folks cannot speak about it, and I have no intention of asking that you do. But I just wanted to come, like I say, and apologize that you folks had to get served yesterday the way it was done. And I don't know how it was done. I just know it was done. And it was done in a way that I would have liked to have avoided. So, mahalo.
Yeah. Okay, the next testifier, J11 Kainoa McDonald.
Aloha. Right, I'm gonna share screen. Thank you. Sorry. All right, it doesn't look like it's coming up. Hold on, let me just try again. Okay, here we go. All right, can you see that now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Sorry. All right, it's in presentation mode. All right, so Aloha Hawaiian Homes Commission and Chair Kali Watson, mahalo nui for allowing us to present on J Agenda. And I'm just going to present a really quick third quarter recap on Shaw Maui Lanai o Ahu Mokupuni in today's J Agenda. So for the record, Homestead Community Development Corporation, they help to facilitate our monthly meetings via Zoom. Majority of the attendees are across Pai'aina, so many of the Hawaii Island, Kauai, Hawaiian Homestead Associations, they attend, also board leadership and waitlist Hawaiian Homes beneficiaries, even across the continent. Presentations include the Department of Hawaiian Homeland staff, NAHASDA. We had a planning session in May. We also invite Oriana. She goes over legislative agenda items. And just recently, on the 14th, we had the Modernization Department with Kerwin and Deborah, thanks to Stacy Eli. So I just wanted to take this quick time to just really thank the DHHL staff for really being a bridge of opportunity, because really the benefits to the beneficiaries are very much education and empowerment, knowing just where to navigate and locate where the resources are, and then help the department and beneficiaries become just more transparent in that entire process. And so that's really helped Shaw to move forward, and especially in advocacy. One of the primary homestead associations that we've been helping is we've been facilitating Pu'uhona's Hawaiian Homestead Association that primarily oversees the current Pu'uhona project that's happening here on Maui. And a lot of the priorities are very focused because there's always something that's going on a homestead development project, but we maintain to help to prioritize. One of the things are questions on waitlist discrepancies and awards processes, identify solutions, how to overcome credit and mortgage barriers, the paper lease and waitlist management processing, and then of course, understanding NAHASA. And these priorities has really helped the new lessees, as well as those on the undivided interest, to not just be able to stand and wait for their award, but have that begin that process to prepare so that when the department takes big developments like these, at least we can confidently say that beneficiaries have done their due diligence and they're prepared and ready for mortgage. The result is really attendance over 40 plus beneficiaries, undivided and island-wide waitlist beneficiaries. So it's been very successful. We have our last quarter meeting with Pu'uhona, and we're seeking to even provide some of the feedback with some of the families who have welcomed Pu'uhona Hawaiian Homestead Association to their housewarming and their house blessing. So we're looking forward to that. Just wanted to thank you, Kali, for making Pu'uhona happen, and the rest of the commission. One of the big things was NAHASDA and the Native Hawaiian Housing Block Grant. This is just photos of the day where we had about 11 beneficiaries here in the office that was hosted graciously by another beneficiary lessee. And this was really a pivotal and I think monumental, because this really brought beneficiaries together for advocacy. And seeing that NAHASDA and the Native Hawaiian Housing Block Grant was up on the agenda and seeking approval for next month, I really see change. We haven't yet circled back around to meet with our beneficiaries to review the annual performance report. But just based on what I've seen for this month's information only, I think these are big wins. And this really calls for thanking Lehua and her staff and her team in order to help better understand what those processes are, especially with the new modernization with Salesforce. I think it's equally important that beneficiaries understand what that process is and have staff like Richard Medeiros who really can walk through that process, not just for kupuna, but primarily for those who are interested in filing or applying for NAHASDA. So quick, ALL, which is the Association of Hawaiians for Homestead Lands. I'm just going to breeze right through this. We have quarterly meetings. We advocate on these 3 points that we want to focus on in 2025: undivided interest lease processes. How do we remove barriers to lot awards and support financial prosperity? Advocate for funding to serve waitlist beneficiaries. These are some key points that we mull over in our quarterly. One of the big things that we advocated for was Maui and Waiahuli. which is now coming up in October. Again, this had gone back and forth between the commission and beneficiaries, leading to a deferment and approval hopefully an approval or at least a beneficiary consultation that's happening right now. Meeting will happen this Thursday and seeking for approval in October. So this is really working with beneficiaries, getting beneficiaries to the table first before real decisions are being made. Last, we are seeking new board leaders at the end of the year. So if anyone has or is interested in attending our community waitlist meetings, as well as more information on how to become a board member of the all, I put my email up there just in the event, and one of us will usually traffic that particular Gmail account, and we would love to engage with the new and next generation of leaders for those on the wait list. Lastly, I've got 3 minutes left. I did want to share that I was able to participate in a trip to Aotearoa between July and August. I just got back. Just giving a few pictures and places of where we visited and where we were able to stay. We were able to stay at the Taranganui Marae, participate in all kinds of activities there. And in Waikato, what was such a profound opportunity was we were able to go on a huaka'i, or what they call a hikoi, on their whenua, which is their aina. And we were able to go through and visit their land parcels. And one interesting thing that on July 27th, they actually have filed to the government asking for their land back for about 748 acres. So in such a time as this, we get to see what Maori communities are doing, not just for self-governance, but just to stand for their aina. Such visits took us also to the Kotahiangi Marae, and that was a Samoan and Tongan church to see Polynesia in its glory. Last, we went to Rotorua. We visited and had pofidi with the Vakakera Kera Rotua, which is at Living Maori Village. We visited several science and technology schools where what they're doing is they are teaching through science and culture how to support and bring their kids back into the geothermal, which is primarily what exists in Rotorua. And I think that this visit alone is definitely going to share and be a bridge to the next coming projects as we work together with Shaw and other entities and developers, so that we too can participate in all of the things that bring us back to community. So I just want to wrap up and just thank you guys again for allowing me this time to share updates on the Shaw Mokupuni, Maui Lanai Oahu Mokupuni. Mahalo.
Thank you very much. Okay, the next testifier, Demond Anaole.
Aloha mai kako, Iman Kalai Manaole, Co-Manager Ho Manapono LLC, Native Hawaiian Advocacy Corporation operating on the Waianae Coast. I just want to start out by saying it's a great time to be Kanaka in Hawaii. This is a great time to be Kanaka in Hawaii. I gotta tell you this. And we're starting to see a coalition of people coming together trying to solve problems that we have. And at the forefront is the leadership that we have with DHHL and OHA, DHHL and the Hawaiian Homes Commission, and then it trickled down to our people. Look at what Kai just presented. I mean, Kai and Shaw, reaching out all the way to Aotearoa. You know what I mean? Archie, you guys reaching across the ocean, you know, with your with Hokulea and whatnot, right? So it's a great time to be Hawaiian right now. And I'm feeling jazzed about it because things are happening.
for a long time, I felt like we was in a doldrums with the department. But now with this new leadership that we have with the department, with the new leadership that we have with the commission, and seeing how everything coming together, people walking outside of the box, thinking outside of the box to try to solve problems, man, I don't want nothing to complain about. And I really wanted to just stress that just now. I've been waiting to come here to tell you that, and I think the last time I was here, I was saying that too. Yesterday I was on Zoom, and I heard the comments that was being made by the commission asking questions. Kehal, I tell you, it's amazing to hear your voice and the way you approach things. I see that we have checks and balances over here that is good for us. You know what I mean? That we can move forward. I heard Lawrence, I heard your comments yesterday regarding the Ever one. And it all works together to move us forward. You know what I mean? We cannot have everybody like stuck in one thing. We gotta have a opportunity to look at the problems or presentations at different angles so we can get on better picture. So I really appreciated yesterday's commission meeting. I wish I was here, but I have Kuliana stuff I had to go take care of. And I just want to end with that. But I want to talk about Tatiana's thing. The thing brought back memories because that time I was living Series 7. I'm not Series 7, but second increment in Nanakuli Homestead. At that time I was married to my second wife, and I remember watering my yard, and I saw the spot up on a mountain, and I was like, "Whoa, here we go. We got a problem." And by the time the fireman was able to get to it, they had to go by helicopter because the thing is so high up. They cannot run up the mountain, and the fire trucks can go up there. And by the time the helicopter was able to get up there, half the mountain was already burning already. You know what I mean? That wouldn't happen on March 16, 2016. I remember that day because I was watering my yard. I was like, "Whoa, Minon." And I was the one crazy early in the morning. People were still sleeping. I was driving around in my neighborhood, beeping my horn, telling everybody, "Hey, the mountain's on fire." You know what I mean? So, and my ex-wife's family, they're all up over there, and everybody was like, "What, Dima, what's the matter? You tripping or what?" I said, "No, get the fire up there." So we gotta have a proactive approach. So what I've done, because of the pilot project, something amazing will happen. We have people coming in, talking to me and asking, "Hey, how can we help?" and this and that, right? I mean, Archie's uncle, yeah? Archie's uncle came, he come over there, bring food, everything. I have Kanai Trucking, they come over there, they like help out. Tyson Services. And now I have one team now. I have an actual team that I can go to and say, "Hey, we get this problem." And one of the problems is the fire thing with Nanakuli, Waianae Homestead, in Lulule. We get one big problem with the potential for fires. So I just want to offer this to the commission and the department. If you ever need help with boots on the ground that can help the homesteaders and whatnot, I have a team together that can start the process. We're not bogged down by bureaucratic BS. We're just ready for roll. So if you guys need help, we get guys that are willing to bring in base cost, cold plane, whatever, to put around the houses, you know what I mean, to help fire mitigation and all that. We're able to do that. And these guys are serious. Cause you know why? Cause we Kanaka. We working together. We saying, let's fix the problem. And I've moved out of my circle. This how me. I don't like you tell me how no can. I like you tell me how can. If you over here, no can. I'm not listening to you. I get 1,000 people around me can do that. But what I like is people who can tell me how can. Hey, I get one problem over here. How can we fix them? And they come in and they go, hey, maybe you should try this or maybe you should try that. Sometimes the advice I get is maybe you should just be quiet, Demon. But so I just wanted to say that we're really happy right now. The pilot project is working really good. We get multiple plants. We get at least 20-something different plants growing right now. I even get pear. I never even heard of pear. And I always ate whole pear my whole life, and I never realized that it comes from the pear plant. You know what I mean? Part of it, right? You know, you guys knew that? Yeah. Yeah, there's a plant called pear, the root. So I get them in my yard right now. It's going good. And I got banana trees and everything. So I'm waiting for the pig guys come and check them out again, and we're good. And but I'm happy right now. I living on good life. I learning how off-grid living. Baga is hard, bro. You know, Lawrence, when you're talking about your kupuna and the guys was the first one for start that, I feel the pain. You know what I mean? I'm 61 years old. I get leukemia. I get high blood pressure. I get all kind of medical problems. My wife get all kind of medical problems. But you know what? We're out there breaking our backs and we're making them work. And now we're just maintaining what we get. So it's a beautiful time to be alive. And I feel alive because we're on the Aina. And that's what the whole purpose of the act is, to help rehabilitate the Aina and rehabilitate us. So I like to correct my statements in the past that we still on Opala land, but land is no longer Opala. We returned that Opala into something beautiful today. You know what I mean? So yesterday's comments, yeah, most of the lands that was put aside for Native Hawaiians was the worst lands that is available. But when you put Hawaiians on the land, I'm out cherry, bro. We can turn one desolate place into a breadbasket, because that's who we are. You know what I mean? So I want to thank all you guys. I appreciate seeing all you guys over here. And I'm very supportive of everything that you do, because you have reached out to the Hui and allow us to thrive and move forward. And working with the department, but cherry, bro. I'm glad we're in a good place right now. But Tatiana, thank you for your testimony. I really appreciate that, because they need the help over there in Nanakuli and all the homesteads. Aloha.
Thank you. Let's see, last testifier, Hiva Hiva, Kahe Aku.
Aloha, I'm here.
Oh, you got it.
So aloha, Chair Watson, Commissioners, and DHHO staff. Before I begin, I asked my husband to open the pule for us.
Po'okele keia. Ina kokua e Medeiros Ohana. Hena nau kena na ko I tēnā na e pilikia. Ina una no ko e kau oha. I ka hana I tēnā no e ka Hawaii. Ho ona no ko e tēnā na wai te mau o kua na no ko e hana na ina nana I te ia. Hena nana I tēnā no ko e kena nana kuli. E pilikia e kau maha e nei. E mama ilio e make. He mau mono no ko kunu ko e mama ke ri ina na kaua. Make. He anana I tēnā na o kono no ko au ke mama I haheo. He nana o kona ohana. Make. E nana I tēnā na ina ko au e kau oha. E ka Hawaii. O nana ko I kena na I nana I ke. O nana make. He nana I kolo e olu nana ko I te aro I nei. He mo'oko ana na ka au I te hawa I te halala ko ona no ko e a mama o ke ari'i. Ke ari'i. E ka mama hauna no ko au I nei. He mana o pono. Mana o pono I tēnā na o ka ona no ko e kau maha. E Medeiros I nā ohana. Hi ikana na ko e ana pahale. E pahale. He no ko au ike ana no ko ike no ko I tewa. Ho'olohi ai I nā pepe au. Ho'olohi ai I nā makamaka.
Ho'olohe au, he nanai tēnā na I pūwai. E aike, hona nau I kau ninau e kōkua, I ho'o kōkua I nana ka okuna na Materis Ohana. Ale pilikia, no I te awa I ke aloha. Ona no I ke ari'i. E ke ari'i no ko e no o kamehameha nui, hona no o ke kaulike. Aia I polole I nana hia ka mai nana kūli. O ia mau, e ho'olohe ia oi.
Aloha. My name is Hiva Hiva Kahiaku Rodenhurst, and I speak today on behalf of my auntie, Danelle, and the Maderis Ohana. First, I want to acknowledge why Auntie Danelle is not present there today. Her eldest son, Kili'i, recently passed away, and she is in mourning. He also lived in the Nanakuli home with his parents, and as a result of DHHL's removal of our Ohana, he was also houseless, staying on the beach, and he was recently found there. For the record, I was asked to continue today on her behalf. We asked for her to be excused and for you to have compassion as we could proceed. At last month's commission meeting on July 22nd, 2025, we shared a slideshow to provide background on our case for the commissioners. At that time, we resubmitted our request for a consideration to reopen our contested case, or in the alternative, to grant a new contested case hearing, specifically so we could present directly to the board. I am here today to address the concerns that Chair Watson raised and to provide clarity, as well as answer any questions the commissioners may have. I want to be clear, we are fully willing and prepared to proceed through the full contested case hearing. We respectfully ask that the prior dismissal not be held against us and to be given the chance to fully present our case. The earlier withdrawal was premature based on the advice that was not the best path forward for two elderly kupuna who remain houseless today. Because DHHL is the only entity authorized under Hawaiian Home Commission Act to issue homestead leases, pursuing a lease through this commission is the safest, proper path to restore our ohana to our home. This case concerns a property located at 89-129 Nani Ahi Ahi Street in Nanakuli Homestead that has remained in DHHL's inventory for nearly 28 years, since 1996. In 1994, Auntie Danelle and Kili'i Maderis entered into a purchase agreement with her father, the original leasee, and paid $10,000 towards the purchase of the home. From that time forward, over 3 decades, our family lived in, maintained, and invested over $200,000 of our own resources into the property. They depended on that agreement. 4 generations was raised there. They built their lives there. For the record, I've provided Leah with a notice and asked if she could present it to you. This serves as a formal notice and objection to the dismissal of our prior contested case without notice, despite our clear, repeated communication that we intended to reopen or proceed with a new contested case hearing. Please also reflect in the record that before the final dismissal, we were in active communication with the department as early as June 2nd through the 4th, as we attended the 2025 Shaw Conference where DHHL staff were present, and again through our first formal written request by email on June 9th, 2025. In the notice, I provided a further timeline of communication between our ohana and DHHL staff. We further clarify some mischaracterizations. Our ohana did not continue the case multiple times. We requested one continuance only to allow a new family representative to learn the case. After the change, we met with DHHL and placed the department on notice that we would proceed under a sovereignty position, a right expressly protected under HHCA Statute 101D. That should not be held as prejudice against us. We have always maintained communication with DHHL and have stated multiple times that the safest, proper path is a lease, and only DHHL can grant leases. Most importantly, as stated yesterday, a vacant lot is not an asset, it is a liability. Since our family has been living there for the past 3 decades, taking care of the property, and are beneficiaries on the list that does qualify to take on a lease, returning them to the home would resolve this issue. the house doesn't have any debt on it. By returning them, you would be returning a lineal descendant of the official leasee to the home, keeping it in the family and allowing this to be a generational home as their children are on the wait list for Oahu and also qualify to inherit the lease. This would also save the department from other litigation costs, extra administrative costs, continued costs of DHHL enforcement to protect vacant lots, the cost to clean the lot or restore or demolish a home built in the 1970s. And in return, you would take a beneficiary off a list, and with the lease, our ohana would be able to continue taking care of the home and qualify as a family for more opportunities or programs. On July 22nd, 2025, we filed our revised complaint and petition for a contested case hearing by email and in person. Later that same day, during our J agenda testimony, we were told the commission had already dismissed the case the day before. We had no notice, no chance to be heard, and no opportunity to protect our rights. That was procedurally unfair and prejudiced our ability to seek timely reconsideration then. DHHL withholding information on hearings affecting us was an issue we brought up last month and was a part of the original issue back in 1996. Our requests today are specific. I ask that you acknowledge and docket our July 22nd, 2025 petition as pending and include our ohana in any discussion or hearings regarding acceptance or denial. I ask that you provide the written dismissal or meeting minutes as soon as issued and reflect in the record that we were in active contact and requesting to reopen or reconsider before the final dismissal. Please also clarify how our already filed petition affects the reconsideration process. Also, I ask that you calendar our case for a hearing at the earliest opportunity or schedule a special meeting to avoid further prejudice. I also ask that you please confirm that the commission will hear our petition on the merits without bias or penalty for the prior explorations of our sovereign relief. And if you have any questions, contact us promptly so that we can supply any additional materials you require to make this decision. After this, I asked if your staff or Leah could provide us a short or written outline or process on our next steps. Commissioners, you hold a fiduciary duty under the Hawaiian Home Commission Act to act with loyalty, care, and good faith towards beneficiaries. This whole process is to house Hawaiians, not leave them houseless due to administrative technicalities. That cannot be proven if the original leasee even understood. That duty requires transparency, notice, and an opportunity to be heard before decisions are made that displace families from their home. After 3 decades of uncertainty and harm, the most just, equitable, and trust-consistent resolution is to let this case move forward, hear our evidence in full, and provide a path for our ohana to return home safely. Please allow our contested case to proceed before the full board so that you can consider the facts, the testimonies, our decades of homesteading, our fruit trees that I've shown, our plants, our la'au, our malama to the aina and community, the generations of our family that has poured into that house, and also the promise of the future if we are restored with the lease. Please do not let another year pass with this unresolved. Mahalo for your time, your consideration, and for placing this statement on the record. Do you have any further questions for me at this moment?
Thank you for your testimony. We are in the process, Attorney General's office is taking a look, not taking a look, but finalizing the decision and order of the dismissal. It has to be issued and filed. And then at that point, you can come in and ask for a reconsideration for it to, have the commission reconsider the decision order dismissing the case. So right now, it's a little premature, your request. And I guess that's where we're at right now. And hopefully we'll be able to get that decision in order out pretty quick so that you have the opportunity to come in and then also make the request. Okay?
Okay, may I have clarity on what that means reconsideration? Is it specifically only towards the dismissal and what was presented in our previous contested case hearing, or is it a opportunity for reconsideration overall to continue or have another contested case hearing as well?
Well, the current action by the commission, which needs to be formally issued, was a dismissal of the contested case hearing because of your failure to show up. And I guess at that point, the justification was you guys were pursuing the sovereignty argument. I understand you kind of withdrawing that and you want to just proceed, but that action and it's a reconsideration of our recent action dismissing the case. So until that decision in order is formally filed, prepared, signed off, you're kind of in limbo in the sense that we need that done first from a procedural and legal standpoint. So
Okay.
as soon
Well-
as you or your, is that your auntie? As soon as she receives that decision in order, you can make a formal request for a reconsideration of that dismissal.
Okay.
As
Well,
to the merits, that would be the contested case, assuming that you're given that opportunity
Yes.
to
Yes,
present.
thank you.
Okay?
Okay. I also then, can I ask if Leah also provide the Attorney General with the notice that I sent her this morning? Because I would like the record to also reflect that we were in constant communication from early June requesting this. And I know that it was just dismissed the day
Right.
before last month. And so I would like
Right.
it to reflect that we were trying to communicate to reopen this and was
Right.
going through
That would be a part of your argument for the reconsideration, saying that you were in constant contact and you were willing to proceed. So we'll take that in, the commission will take that into consideration once you filed your motion for or request for reconsideration of the dismissal. Okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, we have come to the end of this month's agenda. Next month's regular meeting is scheduled for September 15th and 16th at the Grand Naniloa Hotel, Sandalwood Room, Hilo, Hawaii, starting at 9:30 a.m. We also have two DHHL community meetings, September 15th at Keaukaha Elementary School at 6:30 p.m. and September 16th at Pahala Community Center at also 6:30 p.m. Mahalo for attending. We are adjourned.